Hi guys, welcome to today's lesson. So we're going to be continuing this portrait painting that we were working on the last few sessions. I think we're up to about fourth session now. So last week we were working up here in the nose and eye region, or sort of top of the nose, not so much the bottom. We're going to be working on the bottom just now. And today we're going to be working on the nose, lips, cheeks down into the chin, which will then leave finishing off the ear and kind of background elements next week. I'm hoping we'll get it all done by then. So, zoom out. I've got a little bit of a different setup today for you guys. So I wanted to just show my mixing setup as well as my painting as I'm working. So you can sort of see this is my palette here. So I've got white, cad yellow, yellow ochre, cad red, burnt umber, black, which is what we've been using. So you'll be able to see where I'm mixing, or as I'm mixing colours on there. So we'll get started. What I want to begin with is rendering this nose. So I'm going to be just putting in like a few different little shapes. We've got this sort of darker shape in the corner of the nose there. Just make sure I'm nicely focused, as crisp as possible in that region. So I'm going to be putting in a little bit more of a sort of darkish shape next to the corner of the nose there, blend it out slightly into that cheek, work a little bit on the shaping of the tip. We kind of got down to probably about this point in the lights, not so much in the shadows, last week. So we'll be working kind of from there onwards. So I'm going to start with my burnt umber colour. I'll put it down here near the bottom of my palette. And we're just going to get that painted in. So it's going to form a nice dark shadow that's going to pop the nose forward a little bit. And that same shape we want to curve up and then back on itself. Blend it down a little bit. Take a little bit of the red and yellow just to lighten off a little bit from that darkest colour. And take a touch of white. A bit more white and red for the tip of the nose here. So I'm going to pull that down and I'm just blending as I go. I'm getting a little bit of that reflected light in now. So that's just light that's bouncing up off the top lip. and then filling into the shadow. And then as that transitions up, it's going to go pretty quickly a bit darker. And then those same tones, those kind of lighter tones, can start to blend their way down towards the top lip, because we've got this sort of soft, shadowy colour coming out of the top lip. So I'm just doing a little bit of pushing and pulling with these tones coming down out of the underside of the nose. So that just means mixing up darker, little kind of variations of darker, lighter colours, and just getting the shapings correct for them. Just wiping off a little bit on my paper towel there. So moving down, doing a similar sort of thing in the mouth now. So establishing the darker colours. So I'm going to roll the lip and shadow up a little bit more black into that, slightly too reddish. So on a slightly more yellow shift for the flesh tone underneath the lip here, so that's going to distinguish and kind of describe the lip shape a little bit better. But I probably want a little bit more shadow coming out of it, so maybe a bit of burnt umber and yellow, just to make that a little bit darker, maybe even a little bit more. And then out of some of these creases, we're going to get a bit of a turn as well. So I might try to get just a touch darker in the corner of the mouse. I'm going to take a little bit of black. A bit better, and I might actually just try to get a touch of that black because I've got it out into this nostril as well, just the darkest bit of this nostril. Yeah, that gives it a kind of nice pop. Maybe I'll put a touch just up here as well. Reinforce some of those darks around the eye. Yeah, that's looking a bit better. So down the side of that face, just going to get a bit more of a sense of highlight, so I'm just going to mix up brighter white colour, which I can kind of roll some of these colours into, so that wraps up towards the lip. This little corner behind that back lip, and then the shape here as well. I did have a little bit of paint on, which made it a little bit too dull. So that just kind of increases that sense of it really being kind of brightly lit from that right hand side. So I just want to, I'm going to put some kind of interval colours in here and try to roll some of these forms down into the shadow. So putting these in gives me something to kind of blend back into when I'm then putting darker colours. So now if I mix up something more like a shadowier tone, close to that shadow tone. And you notice I'm a lot of the time not blending, I'm kind of mixing new colours up, so I mix up on the palette and then I kind of blend. I don't blend enormously on the surface. Gives me just a bit more control that way. Whereas when you're just blending on the surface, you're kind of at the whim or at the mercy of how the blendings shift around. Take a little bit more burnt umber here. So you can see I've got something above that now, that darker burnt umber, I've got something above it just to blend into. I want to increase the sense of that light that's kind of spilling out of that corner of the mouth. So I'm going to just put some slightly lighter tones in around it, blending down into this region. And then start picking up some of those more highlighty sort of colours, spreading them a bit further as well. yes, that's looking pretty good for the lips. We're about on time. The only maybe last thing I'll do is I just want to get a little bit more of a highlight into the bottom lip, the kind of reflection on the bottom lip creases. And just try to get that just about right, so don't want it to be too overstated. Break it up just slightly there. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. So I'm going to leave it there. We've got shadows moving into the left hand side of the face is what we'll be working on next week. So these sorts of transitions, which I've kind of started to lay in a little bit, will be properly developing next time. So we've just sort of got everything kind of roughly placed. We've got some of the colours established. We're reworking this line down the other edge of the face as well, the background a bit. But yeah, mainly kind of blending the shadows between these lights and the halftones until we're happy with them. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this session. Just putting, I noticed a little bit of a tweak. I wanted to put just more of a dark underneath there. That's a bit better. Maybe a little bit of red as well. Just blend that a little bit in this direction too. So I'm always kind of thinking about the direction of blendings. But yeah, so leave it at that. So yeah, we'll be working on the shadows transitioning next week, and trying to finish it off, I think. So hopefully, because we've got all the features in, it'll just be kind of bigger, patchier painting, some little blending stuff moving out of the face, but a lot of the detail work will be done. So yeah, that's it for this week. And as always, you can like the page to keep up to date with more videos from myself and other tutors. Comment if you've got any questions. If you're working on your own, the reference link is in the description, and the painting materials I'm using are in the description as well. And if you want to see the sorts of paid qualifications we offer, you can click the link in the description through to our website as well and check those out. So yeah, that's it for this week, and I'll see you guys soon.